Good afternoon and welcome back to 50 Somethings. Today's video is going to be a little bit special because we're going to be documenting the crossing of two countries' borders. The dates for this section of video that you're going to watch would have been October 23rd and October 24th, 2025. This initial segment that you are seeing is going to be from the country of Guatemala. We last left you just entering Guatemala and the first part of that country on the way to our hotel. So this would be the following day after arriving in Guatemala. So the way it works is you cross a border, you drive, you go to a hotel. So it's drive, then a border, then it's drive more, hotel, lather, rinse, repeat. So in this video, we're going to go through Guatemala, Honduras, and then finally end up in Nicaragua. So both the Honduras and Nicaragua borders were similar in their order of operations, but whereas the Honduras border was nice and orderly, the Nicaraguan border was complete chaos. I will get into what happened at both of those borders for you in just a little bit, but I do want to explain that what you are seeing here in this first part is the drive in Guatemala to the border of Honduras. And in our last video, I did also tell you that Guatemala was a very poor country. You did see a lot of very poor homes, businesses without glass, a lot of open air, etc. When we cross into the border of Honduras, it is a stark contrast from what we see in Guatemala. It is highly developed, very modern, very beautiful, a lot more money in Honduras. And as a matter of fact, it really reminds me of Panama. I could easily live in Honduras. What an absolutely beautiful country it was. But for now, please enjoy these images of the drive in Guatemala, a very beautiful country. We'll pick it up here again in a little bit as we get close to the Honduras border, and we'll talk about those border crossings. As always, thanks for watching 50 Somethings, and if you are new to our channel, thanks for joining. As in most of these driving videos, I am sitting directly behind our driver Mari in the second row, so all of these are going to be from the perspective of the left passenger seat. We are now coming up on the Honduras frontera, the Honduras border. As you can see here, there is a long line of semis, and our drivers just kind of went up on the curbs and went past them right up to the border. So the way that this border works, and here we are driving into the night into Honduras after we cross the border, but let me talk about how this border works. So at the border, the first thing we did in Honduras is you checked in for a health stamp, not for the pets, but for you. They look at you and your passport, they stamp a piece of paper and throw it into your passport, and then they send you over to the next phase. The next checkpoint is where you check out, salida, from the country you just crossed out of. This entails waiting in line to get your passport stamped. In Honduras, the next line over would be entrada, for Honduras to get your incoming passport stamp. After we checked out of Guatemala and into Honduras, the next order of business was the pets. In Honduras, they reviewed and kept photocopies of all of our pet documents, gave us a stamped receipt to keep with all of our paperwork, and walked out with us to inspect our pets. That entailed looking at Panda's ears and smiling at our cats. The very last step in the process in Honduras is customs. In Honduras, they walked out to the van with us, reviewed our Spanish manifest, counted our bins and suitcases, and opened 2 bins. The border took just over 3 hours to complete. There were some charges in Honduras for crossing over, but we did not pay a dime. Our driver, Mari, covered every single expense of the Honduras charges. And this is what I wanted to explain to you in our previous video when we paid $700 at Guatemala. Even though we paid $700 in Guatemala, we don't know exactly how much of that was to Guatemala. Because our driver Mari covered all the expenses in Honduras for us. So he did tell us that in Honduras it was roughly $325 to get us through everything, up to and including any bribes that may have been paid. So we do assume that the $700 we paid covered both Guatemala and Honduras. So our driver did take care of that for us. So it wasn't quite so bad paying $700 when we got to divide it up between 2 countries. I said drive, border, drive, repeat. I meant it. So now it is the next day, October 24th, 2025, and we have left our hotel in Honduras and are back on the road again, driving right for the Nicaragua border. And that is right where we're headed. When I say that Best Mexico Pet Movers is transporting you from the United States to Panama, I mean it. This is not a joyride. You are being transported, and I do mean quickly, from one country to the next. Not only was Honduras very modern with a lot of great infrastructure and just a really beautiful country, the roads were also very nice and easy to drive on, as you can see. Honduras and Nicaragua were stunningly beautiful. Lots of beautiful mountains, and when we cross into Nicaragua, we start to see a lot of volcanoes too. Just beautiful country. God's country if you ever did see it. Now that we are closing in on the Nicaragua border, I thought I would take the time to explain how that border crossing went, since it takes a few minutes. It was very similar to the Honduras border crossing, except for the fact that Nicaragua was pure chaos, where Honduras was nice and orderly. Just like in Honduras, the first thing we encountered at the border was a very long line of semis waiting to get through, and our drivers went along up on the curb and worked their way through, and we had people yelling at us and waving money at us and flagging us in. Absolutely chaotic as soon as we arrived. Once we got in to the Nicaragua border, once again we had a health check-in first, where they check your health. Once again, they just simply stamped it. It wasn't for our pets, but for us. They just want to know that you are healthy. Again, we got a piece of paper for our passport. They stuck it in our passport, and you have to hang on to these pieces of paper while you're traveling, because if you lose anything, it can cause problems down the road. So the next phase was to check out from Honduras, Salida, and into Nicaragua, Entrada. In Nicaragua, this step was done in an entirely different building, and they give you a piece of paper with a stamp on it that stays with your passport. After doing that, we had to we had to go and do our pets. This was challenging. In Nicaragua, they made us play Frogger across a very busy street to find a pet building where we handed over all of our documents to the people working in the pet building. We just had to trust them, give them everything we had, and they told us they would find us and return our documents to us later. This made me very nervous. How they found us later is beyond me, but they did, and they gave us our documents back. And for our pet inspection, they simply took a photo of our dog and one cat. The last step in the process in Nicaragua was the customs process. In Nicaragua, they didn't even look at anything in our presence. This border also took just 3 hours to complete. We were told that in Nicaragua, they were going to strip our van, go through all our bins, create chaos for us. We actually did not have this experience. And between you and me, maybe this should have been a sign of foreboding or some sign of evidence of something bad that was going to happen in the future, because on the way out of Nicaragua, we had a horrible experience, and we will go into that in more detail in our next video. So you'll definitely want to tune in for that. It was really, really awful. Needless to say, going in was a breeze. And what you are seeing now is images of Nicaragua. After we crossed through, it was dusk, so we're seeing our first images of the Nicaraguan countryside. Just past golden hour. It is twilight. It is getting dark. It was a beautiful country, and you will see some stills of some volcanoes that I took in the distance. Anyway, thanks for watching 50 Somethings, and stay tuned for our next video of Nicaragua. Have a great day.